think it was really wild. The parameters that he took were very, very smart.
Yeah, he's still out there making that coin.
Yeah.
That
But
coin.
I was gonna say I think it's so much easier for him to do it.
Yeah.
Just because he's already so used to filming
Quick.
things in such a short span.
Yes.
And most people in Hollywood are like, "Oh, we got 3 months,"
11 days, 22 episodes.
I don't think that people understand that part of it.
You can't like that. That's efficiency to the key. Like, there's no more efficient than 11 days, 22 episodes. You couldn't ask for it to be any faster.
Right.
Didn't he shoot like most of the movie with Taraji? The most
Acrimony
recent, yeah,
in a week.
In a week, dog. What is his process?
I mean, honestly, we both been on sets, right? So I think that the thing about it is, if you're a director and you know what you want and how to get that across to the actor,
yeah,
I don't need 30 shots of the same scene. You know what I mean? And I think that's the efficiency part of it. Is most of it is the pre-planning. So, all right, I know exactly what angle I want. I know what I need. I know this. Now I need to make sure that my actors get it.
Yes.
And I think that a big part of hiring the cast is to know what that character brings, what they could bring to that character. And not being force fed into like, this is exactly how I want it. All right, I want you to have your creativity.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna use the best of that instead of going, nah, that's not how I want it. Nah, that's not how I want it. Nah, that's not how I want it, And I think there's too many directors like that,
The question is, like, does what is the degree of difference between a perfect movie and getting that perfect shot and that good enough take? Right. You know what I mean? How much is that degree of difference? Like, do you get that much of the return? Like, if I shoot it 30 times, I may get that perfect take. But, what am I losing on that end? Am I exhausting the actor? Because, like, I can give you 11 days. Like, I can give you my all in 11 days. I may not be able to give you my all in a year, I
also wonder, like, what directors are good using their assistant directors. Like, if you have that so this is the ability to, like, you see in movies where there's the second assistant and the third assistant.
Yeah.
Now I wonder if he's capable of shooting two scenes at the same time.
Because they over there on
set like, two. All right, this cast isn't even in this scene, so let's just shoot this separately.
Yep.
I'm gonna look at this. Cool, you're doing on your way. Let me get to that other scene.
Yeah.
Cool. All this is all right. Now we go back here. All right, y'all done. Let's wrap it up. Let's get to this next. And like, I think that a lot of it is that also. A lot of people aren't good at delegating work.
True.
So
plus, if he's using 2 cameras or 3 cameras, you're getting all 3 of the shots at the same time. So I'm not exhausting the actors over and over trying to just get the master shot. Then we go into all the tights.
Right.
I mean, if Tyler Perry could do it at that budget for 11 days, damn it, we can do something in a week. Exactly. We can get our stuff done in a week too.
1 camera, 1 light, one. That's it.
I'll tell you right now. Listen, I got blueprints over here. I'm dropping all my. Boom. You see that? Okay.
Rebel Without a Crew. I like
That's it. That's the Robert Rodriguez book, y'all. I mean, listen, I picked up a whole bunch of books from Amazon, obviously, because nobody's going to a bookstore. This was something I had wanted to read a while ago. Obviously, this is old. A lot of people talk about this book. I never got a chance to read it. But Robert Rodriguez is like, one of my inspirations because I just love the movie Desperado, which was the launch off from El Mariachi. Right. Which is the origination of this book. Understand that he used $7,000, dog. $7,000 made his career.
You're right.
Made his career.
All right.
That's crazy. All right, let's start it. I'm No Justin, No Peace.
And I'm Lou Rivers.
And we are the Loose Cannons Podcast because we sit down and we fire off our opinions on today's pop culture.
What else?
Politics.
What else?
Movies and TV and how they all intersect. And oh, baby, do we have a great episode for you guys?
Yes, we do. As always. As always.
A lot going on in social, a lot going on in the world. There was a protest recently that took place in the Hamptons. People came from the city. I've never been to the Hamptons.
No?
But I just know the Hamptons as what do you consider it, a beach town? Would that be considered like the Martha's Vineyard right next to New York City?
Yes.
Okay.
Easily.
So a lot of people have, or rich people have places up in the Hamptons. One of them well known is P. Diddy. But
Yeah.
a lot of money out there. And there was a protest that took place in the Hamptons where they were protesting raising the taxes on the rich.
Oh, yes.
How you feel
yes,
about
they
that?
Have been.
They were out there.
So this is the thing. I don't know if I said it to you in the last episode or the episode before that, but I was just like, the next step is going to be, the poor going and trying to get this money from the rich.
Yeah.
And like clockwork, that I seen that protest, and I was like, okay, here it comes. Yeah. And I mean, I think that a lot of people miss out, but I want to say it was either June, maybe early June. There was this meeting in Europe, I want to say, with like the wealthiest of the wealthy, and pretty much they came to the conclusion that it is on them to help the government try to figure this out.
Yeah.
Obviously, no Americans were invited because we can't do anything right now to save our lives. But everybody else got it in order. I mean, besides this one protest in Germany right now. Yeah. But other than that, we kind of got it going. I think that people are going to have to understand that the way that taxes work in our government, a lot of people don't see, the ins and outs and why it works and doesn't work.
Yep.
As people just think like, oh, it's just going to be more taxes. Oh, it's just going to be this. And people don't realize like, oh, but tax breaks help out people. I think that people kind of miss out on certain parameters. So I don't know, like this thing came out, I think a week or two ago where people were talking about like, oh, well, Trump gave all these tax breaks, but one of the things that people missed out on was by giving those tax breaks originally, he took away something that Obama had implemented, came out of those tax breaks that Trump originally gave. So it made more taxes for working class families, and people don't realize that. There's a lot of that goes around, and people are just, miss out because all they hear is tax breaks, and they're like, oh, it's for everybody. Everybody's going to benefit.
Absolutely not. And I mean, I implore people to actually, like, most people aren't using any of these a lot of people are using like the online tax preparation, but that doesn't mean you understand what's going on, because at the end of the day, I did it for many years, and then as much as deductions as you want to put in, most of the time they end up telling you just use the basic 12,500 deduction that the government gives out, because your deductions might not have met higher if you only had $9,000 worth of deductions. Now, the people who are constantly looking at their taxes and looking over their taxes are people who have businesses. People who are on the W-2 are not really paying attention. You think that those numbers account for you. Like, how many people, like when we are at work, the job that we have in common, they think the more you make, the higher your taxes are. Which is totally wrong, because we have a progressive tax rate. So you get taxed on this amount of money, this much, and then from this amount to that amount, a certain percentage. So no matter what, you still going to pay the same taxes on that first amount of money that you are going to pay, no matter what if you make more. So most people have a misunderstanding about taxes, period, because it has nothing, you're totally wrong. And then they also account all of those things as taxing. Like they look at the state, they look at the federal, but they don't realize that part of that money is Social Security, part of that money is Medicaid and Medicare, part of this money is going to these other things. It's not just that big number. And then what they don't do is deduct the amount that they end up getting from their return from what they paid the last year. And then when people do that, you realize, I probably only gave the government $1,500 this year. Like, and then you complaining about that. But because somebody who gave the government $15 million, $200 million, told you, oh, you need to look at your money. Taxes need to go down on us because they're trying to save 100 million. You only have $1,500 of a difference. Your taxes did not go up that much. That's certain percentage. And
Right.
even recently, when taxes were decreased and we were supposed to be getting more money in our checks, a lot of people only seen $10, $15, $25 in your check. That did not change your life. But what could have changed your life was a significant financial investment that was culminated by the government, pooled by all of our monies invested in communities. Would you want to hold $25 extra in your check or have a better school for your kid because the government is investing more monies in the school? So we have to
Exactly.
think about what we're losing. Like the loss is not financial only. It's about what that money can pull together to create as opposed to what it does for me individually. And most people individually, $500, if 500 to $1,000 changes your life a year, you already have a significantly bad life.
Hmm.
So therefore, there's other changes that need to be made besides taxes. So it's like we got to think about all these things because I was reading this book, and it's about race and how racism and slavery and the separation of classes happened because the rich want to stay rich. So basically, that's the premise. The rich want to stay rich. They want to hoard all the wealth, so they divide and conquer. And taxes is one of those things that they utilize to divide and conquer. Because most people who vote on a side that's saying let's lower taxes aren't even receiving the significant benefit of lowering
Exactly.
of the taxes. That is only going to affect a small percentage of society. A larger percentage of our society would be advantage if we increase taxes and use
Hmm.
the money properly. A higher tax rate, one of the highest tax rates used to be 90% at one point. Our
Hmm.
highest tax rate right now is at 40%. I'm not saying it should go to 90, but what I'm saying is if we don't have enough money right now, if we're talking about deficits, the only way to decrease the deficit is to increase revenue. So
Right.
taxes gotta go up. And who can give the most? It's simple. People who have the most. That's it. It's like simple mathematic problem. You got the most, okay, we're gonna take a little bit more from you. Plus, you use the most of the resources. You use
Hmm.
more of what is around, you use more of what America is created for. So therefore, you're gonna give a little bit more. And I'm sorry, I don't feel bad for a person who's making $100 million a year and has to pay what, I don't 30. Say you have to pay $50 million in taxes. You still have $50 million. It's a different effect when a person makes $50,000 and they have to pay $10,000 in taxes. That hits
Hmm.
harder. It's simple mathematics. But
Right.
I think that the smartest thing is for rich people to get ahead of this. Get
Yep.
ahead of it. Because once people start getting to this point of going to the Hamptons, the number might not be the number you want. The best thing for you to is say, you know what, increase it, but let's go up 10%. Because if
Right.
you leave it
And it's going to be
to
up
some
30%.
people, it's up 30. That's just common knowledge for me. That's just like that's tactical principle for me. That's chess. Like let's control the narrative of how much it goes up because it's going to go up. And if you think it's not going to go up, then man, you're going to be one of those sad people.
Yeah, I think that for the last time that the U.S. wasn't in debt or wasn't at a deficit was when the tax rate was over 50 or 60%, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that was in the 60s or something,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. And I mean, like people don't realize how important that is, but I mean, they're gonna know this year, next year,
And that's not
like
60% of 100% of your money.
exactly,
That's probably 60% of what you make over $100 million.
exactly.
So that means 100 million and one on up is sixty
Mhm.
percent of that. Guys, like this number, and even people who are like, well, I'm gonna get rich one day, so I don't want it to happen to me. It's a bad excuse.
Right.
It's a bad excuse because you obviously don't even understand the numbers. What is the worst thing of spending, even if it's 50% of your $100 million, and you made $200 million. That means that you were taxed for your first $100 million solely differently. And out of $100 million one to $200 million, you got 50% of that. So that's $50 million that you still kept with the other $100 million, whatever that minus the taxes of that. Like, you still rich.
Right.
You can still buy any and everything.
I think that the rich really miss out on this idea, and it's tough because we always talk. There's different tax rates. Besides the fact that we're talking about earned income.
Yeah.
And the majority of the wealthy, this is only 10 to 20% of their income.
Yes.
Of earned income, because everything else is normally a capital gain. So you're
Capital
already
gains.
subject to lower taxes
Already.
So it's like, even if you made $100 million on compound interest,
yeah,
you still only gonna pay 10 to 20% on that.
That's it.
So we're talking about the earned income part.
That's it.
Which is probably the smallest amount of money that you earn that year. And people miss out.
Yes.
People just don't understand.
Yes. We'll keep talking. We'll keep telling them. But another sad thing. Listen, I was at home, right? And I was watching TV with my family. And the most ridiculous commercial I've ever seen in my life came on. And I just don't understand the tactic. If you guys ever watch TV, I know that you've been inundated, especially late night, with these sad ASPCA commercials with the sad dogs. First of all, I don't know where they get these sad dogs from. One leg, one eye, one half brain, half ear, whatever, half dog. All the worst of the worst. But I don't understand what what are they trying to get at? Like are there no happy dogs at the ASPCA? Like, if I go there, can I not get a dog with 4 legs? Can I get a dog with 2 eyes? I don't want no sad dog.
You got to get the one that nobody wants. That's it.
Why?
Because nobody want them. You should. You should.
But this is my thing. Are they not the ones who are wasting money making these commercials for these sad dogs? Because I'm not going to get the sad dog.
Maybe we should just take a big portion of the state, like any state, and then just this is where we send the dogs off, and we can just figure this out, along the way.
Nah, dog. Listen, I tell you right now, this is going to be totally against the ASPCA. Kill him. Just get. Listen.
Nah, you can't do that.
Yes, you can. Literally, that's why the ASPCA is there, because other people were killing them. I think they got it right. I mean,
how much money do they spend on every? I feel like this is one of those Red Cross, FEMA, as much money as they get, only 20 to 30% go actual to the subject that they're trying to take care of.
They got Michael Bay making the commercials.
Right.
There's a director who made these commercials. That wasn't filmed on an iPhone. It had transitions.
You don't think that, they should just invest in a couple 100 acres somewhere and let the dogs and cats roam free? But look, they ain't, they're not going to be making more animals, because the first thing that they do is whatchamacallit?
Neuter them.
Yeah.
You know what I think they need to do? I think they need to get together with Pixar and make a one eye cartoon animal, and then maybe people will start getting them. It got to be on some Finding Nemo level Pixar joint that just real, because these commercials ain't working. I'm just I don't.
Right. I feel you. I'm talking about they need to go somewhere I don't know, South Dakota. Send them to South Dakota.
Maybe
a couple 100 acres.
Yeah, just have them on a farm.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I feel that. And then ASPCA land.
Yes. See?
Oh, we can go visit them behind little glasses. You just put the paw up against the glass.
If you want an animal, you come through, walk on the land, grab the one you want, walk out, no paperwork. That's it.
But that's the thing. You got to have all kinds of paperwork. They'll come and snatch the dog away from you.
But that's the point. Once you get the dog, you be like, I went to ASPCA land. You got your documents. Look, this is the flight. This is the rental car.
Okay.
I drove my GPS.
Oh, you got to get vetted prior.
That's it.
Got it. I like it. Look, ASPCA land. Let's go.
Look, no workers, no nothing.
No, you just walk on. Just, I'll
Yeah,
take this one with 3 legs.
this is mine right here.
This
This
is
is
mine.
mine. Exactly.
Cujo. All right. So listen, in some serious news, I was looking through some articles,
Okay, which
and
one we doing?
I don't know if you remember, it was like a couple of years ago. This director had a little backlash because he was doing some other movie, and it was during the rollout of Bohemian Rhapsody. People were like, this director's kind of creepy. He's kind of messed up. We don't understand why he's still working. Bryan Singer,
Yeah.
and apparently I didn't know it was this significant.
So, I mean, when did we hear about this? When Predator was coming out? So Olivia Munn had came out and made an issue because I guess someone who he hired
Uh-huh.
was an offender, and
Uh
he had some sort of history. I can't remember what it was. And she told the producers. Producers didn't want to say anything, but this article came out like the week before the movie came out. I think we had talked about her being blackballed or
uh-huh.
something like that. But I mean, like, he has this history, so
Huge history.
yeah. And I mean, now, so
And his
now,
people, the people that he rolled with.
right, exactly.
Like
I
that's odd. Like all of y'all got charges?
right.
Like all of you got charges.
So I think what this article what talks about it happening on X-Men.
Yes, it's starting the bigger issues starting with X-Men and during the filming of X-Men and him being on some like drugs and situation, but Fox still hiring him for X2 and then hiring him later and then hiring him for Bohemian Rhapsody because everybody's saying that he's such a talented guy. But what I want to get at is the juxtaposition between commerce and morality. It seems like in Hollywood they take the money over morality all the time.
Easily.
And I believe that the Me Too movement was trying to tell us, a lot of particular specific Hollywood actresses were trying to let us know. But in this particular article, they were speaking to because he's gay.
Oh, really?
And yeah, well, I mean, his offenders were boys. I don't know if he, is bisexual
Oh,
or whatever, but they were young boys, and they were saying that some of the execs felt some type of way about approaching him about his behavior because they didn't want to make it seem any type of way because they weren't approaching the womenizing men, which is kind of crazy. It's like you got all kinds of outlandish behavior
mm-hmm.
happening. You should have approached the guys who were out of line, who were doing it towards women. And then now you're in a sticky situation because you don't want to approach him because you don't want it to seem like it's a gay thing. And that's just crazy. Especially in this medium, like, I don't need a movie that bad that I'm going to allow this person to abuse people.
Right.
Who needs this film that bad that the abuse is going to happen at this level? Like, that's just not cool. Like, it's just crazy. And it's kind of sad that this is going on in Hollywood. And this is one of those articles that I'm pretty sure that this is a typical story.
Yeah, and it's like, how do you get all these people? It's someone with power has had to have this background
Yep.
and is lenient on these types of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's it. That's the only thing that I can fathom. Because it's not like someone is against it and is like, oh, we didn't know who we was hiring.
No, they
It's
know.
right. It's just like it's the same people who, and I hate to put it this way, like back in the '70s, allowed Roman Polanski to
Roman.
like
That's
be
it.
free and do this and do that. It was just
Yeah.
like, all right, his talent will outweigh his bad. No, it's
No.
not.
No. Let's get the next guy. Let's get
Right.
like think because you're enabling it by spending millions of dollars. You're making this person rich. You're giving them even more power and ability to potentially abuse more people.
Exactly.
And paying for lawsuits. Paying for legal defense. That's crazy. That's a structure of issues. And when people
Hmm.
talk about structural racism, this is structural. Um, this is structural sexual deviance. Like this is crazy.
Hmm. Just pushing that abuse forward. oh, it's not on me, you know? Like,
Yeah, no, it is on you. You heard
right.
about it, and you didn't stop that person's ability because what? He was going to make the movie with another studio. That's really what
Right.
mattered.
That's the selfishness where it's just like, not, but we need to make that money.
We need to make that money.
You can't let him go someplace else and make a movie for them. Like,
That's sick, dog. That's sick.
well,
But
you
onto
know,
more sick news. COVID-19 has people
woo,
doing things very differently, very, very differently. Our boy, our people, Tyler Perry, who is the sponsor of this podcast, not actually, but I'm speaking it into existence. Tyler
okay.
Perry was
Yep.
recently shot one of his shows, Sisters, with the new COVID-19 protocol that he has laid out to keep everybody safe, including all kinds of testing. Apparently, you get tested prior to your to getting on the plane to go there. You get tested before you leave. You get tested when you arrive. You get
Mhm.
tested there, and you have to sequester yourself for that 24-hour period until your testing is uh
Results come back.
and come back. And if you negative, they escort you off. They got people in bio suits, but the
Mhm.
whole thing happens in this bubble. And it's like normally if it happens in the bubble, are you going to be in the bubble for 3 months, 4 months? Nope. In Tyler Perry's fashion, he gets you out in 11 days.
You're
22 episodes in
you're
11 days.
talented.
Man, man, that
I
is the
mean,
best.
how many TV shows can do that right now? You know,
How many how does he write this much? Like, how does he? How do you write this much? He's got to be writing as fast as he shoots.
I don't know. I mean,
How many days does it take him to write 22 episodes?
well, I mean, he had it before because they were supposed to start in March, right?
Yeah,
So, I
obviously.
mean, he was just like, all right, this is it. The only thing he had to do was what he had out of almost 400 people, 360 people.
Uh huh.
He only had four positives,
Yep,
and they were like two extras and two crews.
that's
So
right.
that's not even bad at all.
Not a problem.
So I mean, honestly, if you got everything down, okay, these are the scenes we're doing. We're just gonna roll this through. Okay, you need a break. Don't worry. We going to do another scene during that time,
Yep.
and we just gonna keep this thing rolling. All right. We're gonna be on set 12 to 14 hours a day. We're gonna have dinner. We're gonna have drinks. You're gonna
Together,
have your
a
room.
drink truck.
Yeah, we see you tomorrow.
We
You
see you
know.
tomorrow. You ain't got to
Okay.
go nowhere. You can stay sequestered for 11 days. You fine.
Right.
I
I
might
mean,
stay extra. I'm not checking
right.
out.
Yo, you need look. You got anybody who's falling off on this next series? Look. I'm an extra. I'll be here.
That's right.
You know. I mean, but you got to think like even the extras. You know, like
Yeah, the
you.
extras got to get rooms because they not there. They there for more than one day.
That's. But I mean, like, yo, this was well thought out,
Yeah.
and obviously the first time around. So the first series is good, and he's just like, oh, I only had to like change a couple lines. That's
Yeah.
about it. Okay, all right. Now it's like, all right. Then I guess his next series was supposed to start the next day, so he's like,
Yeah.
he don't know whether or not to put 2 extra days of filming on the back end.
I mean, the beauty of what he's doing is obviously it's all self contained. He has the ability to lock everybody down on his property.
Right,
Like he could bring everything there. He already has places for them to stay. He doesn't need hotels. If you're shooting in the middle of New York City, what are you gonna do?
right,
You really can't do anything. You can't create that bubble. You can't lock down New York City. But everything that he's doing is on sound stages, so it just works. It's a beautiful thing to see that. And his reasoning was beautiful. And he was like, I could have stayed locked down for the next year or two. I'm fine. He was like, I don't got to make nothing.
right,
He's like, I'm fine. But it's the people that depend on me, people who I employ, all of the businesses that are surrounded around my business that need the work. So,
right.
we figured it out and we came to work. And I think that's just dope. And I think that's noble. Tyler Perry,
Salute.
salute. All
I
right. So
think
this part in the show, I want to talk about what are you doing to get closer to what we're attempting to do. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you know, Lewis and I are both creators. We're performers and We're going on a writing journey,
Yes.
and we want to just bring you guys along on our writing journey as we learn to write and learn to create at the Tyler Perry level. So, how's it been for you?
Well, I mean, you know how our journey went. I mean, we've been doing this podcast for a little bit over 2 years now, right?
Yeah.
And I would say that the first time that we got together to write was maybe 10 years ago almost. you know? But I mean, since then, I think that, when we finally was like, all right, we finally gonna do this, I think that now the idea has been like, all right, we've always wanted to shoot shorts, we've always wanted to shoot some sort of movie, we've always wanted to write. So
Yep.
I've always kept up with writing stories, screenwriting some. I mean, like just trying to keep my ideas open and unique and
Yeah.
different.
Yep.
Seeing as many movies as we possibly could see.
Yeah.
This is the one reason why we're able to do this podcast,
Yep.
just to see what other writers, what other directors are doing. For me, my journey has always been, how can I continue to put pen to pad
Yeah.
and make sure that my thoughts are coming across properly.
Word.
So
I mean, I keep a note section in my phone. Like I have a whole bunch of note section. I have a note section for for the podcast. I have a note section for anything that I'm doing. And time to time I'll have creativity pop up, and I'll write down notes. I'll even write down some dialogue that I'm hearing. But I always did not understand the structure of how things need to be put together. Like my first shorts that I shot, I wrote them, but I wrote them in a form that I could understand. It wasn't any traditional screenplay form that could actually be sent to somebody for somebody to understand. But I've been using a lot of YouTube to listen to videos and hear theories on writing. One of the books that I finished a while ago was Save the Cat. That was suggested by Marlon Waynes. Actually, he was talking about it on his Instagram, and it was a very good book. It germinated a lot of things, and then as of late, I've just been trying to compile a bunch of information that I'm just going through. Like I'm just trying to read like as much as I can. I got David Mamet's book, William Goldman, which was suggested by somebody on YouTube. This is William Goldman's second book. Sidney Lumet, which is dope because I
what was
believe.
that last one? What was the one before that one?
Which Lie Did You Tell? William
Okay.
Goldman.
Yeah, yeah.
Sidney Lumet making movies, which Sidney Lumet is Dog Day Afternoon.
Yes.
Rebel Without a Cause, Robbie Rodriguez, and Sid Field. I always heard about Sid Field and his writing, but understanding structure plus doing the master class.
Yeah.
I had started that a while ago with what's her name? I was taking Shonda Rhimes' class.
Right.
And I'm gonna finish that, and I'm gonna just go through every piece of writing I can. I was listening to a bunch of stuff from Aaron Sorkin, but I think really it's just about us applying at this point. I just gotta hit pen to paper, or
All
finger to
right.
keys, whatever that is. And I think the biggest breakthrough I had is like I didn't realize that I was a perfectionist, but one of the things that was holding me back from creating stuff was the feeling of it not being good.
Mm-hmm.
And the most important is like
Just to keep.
make some
Right.
bad shit. Like we just got to start making
Uh-huh.
shorts. If
It's
they're bad,
true
they're
though.
bad. We learn from them. That we keep going. We keep creating. We keep building. And we keep figuring out. And then eventually we'll be making some good shit. But everything doesn't have to be the one that's going to get you into Sundance. Even though that's always going to be a hope, but it doesn't have to
Right.
be the one because that can lead to the one, lead to the relationship. So
I agree. I feel you on that one. I think we definitely, I mean, due to Corona currently, but I
yep,
mean, if we can start shooting some shorts, we can, regardless of wherever we put them, but just like you said, the experience, at least as long as we're getting
yep,
that experience, that all right, this is how we want it to look.
yeah,
All right, this is how we should be formatted. And this is exactly what we want it to look like.
yep.
This sounds great. We'll keep with this. So
this is the perfect point to let you guys know out there to make sure that you like, share, and subscribe, because that is directly connected to what we're going to be able to do. What we're utilizing with this platform is, any money that we garner from here, we're going to put that into our production. So anything that you can do, if you want to be a part of our Patreon, you can go to Patreon, Candace Podcast, for as little as $5 a month to support the podcast, which will also support the production of our shorts. And we just appreciate you guys for listening. Anything else?
man, I mean, while we're at it, we might as well take some volunteers.
Actors, cinematographers,
anything,
anything creative. If you want to be a part of a team of people who have no money, but they just love the creativity and love to create something and are building something that's going to be huge,
right.
email us, candacepodcast@gmail.com. Direct message us.
Yes.
Let us know. Say, hey, episode 59. I want to be down, and we're gonna keep you guys in the rotation, because the
Right.
truth is,
Send messenger pigeon. Pony
that's
Express.
right. That's right. Yes, we have a cinematographer, Lewis. That's who's interested in.
We can do it all.
That's right, y'all. All right. Listen. Great episode, and we got a great week. Later this week, we are reviewing Safdie Brothers' latest movie, Uncut Gems.
Yes.
Listen, don't miss that conversation. It's going to be great. For now, I'm Joe Justin No Peace.
And I'm Lou Rivers.
And we are the Loose Cannons Podcast, because we sit down and we fire off our opinions on today's pop culture.
What else?
Politics.
What else?
Movies and TV and how they all intersect. We're out. Peace.
Peace.